Hey everybody, today we're going to be looking at the card game Abstract Academy. Now in this game you're going to be in an art class of sorts, and you're going to be doing what's called a shared canvas. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be laying out different canvas cards that have a whole bunch of different colors on them, trying to create different shapes and trying to create different compositions in order to score points. So let's take a look at it. Okay everybody, here we go. We will go ahead and show you the different cards that are in this game. Right here are the canvas cards, and there's several different ones, and they have a whole bunch of different ones with different colors on them. And here's a perfect example of one. Now these cards are divided into 4 quadrants, one here, one here, one here, and one here. And what you're going to be doing in this game is you're going to be laying down cards, making a 4x4 grid, trying to create different patterns with the colors, and this is how you're going to be scoring points. Over here we have the teacher's pet card. This is going to just simply signify who goes first, and you're going to be passing this card around. Right over here you've got different assignment cards, and throughout the game you're going to have 3 rounds that you're going to be doing. And one round is going to be what's called color theory, and this simply is going to tell you assignment of each color. So for this round you're going to be setting out 3 of these cards, and I'll go ahead and show you one of them. And this one says fewest blue areas, and I'll talk a little bit about how this works. But how you're going to be scoring points in this game is by trying to meet these certain requirements. In this case, in your area, which is going to be the first 2 rows directly closest to you, if you end up having the fewest blue areas in your rows, then you're going to end up winning this card. So anyway, all the cards are going to be like this. Here's one that says the most yellow areas, and then here's one that says the most red areas with only 1 quadrant. So in the first round, you're going to grab 1 red, 1 yellow, and 1 blue, and this is what you're going to be trying to score with. In the second round, you're going to be doing what are called the professor cards. The professor cards are similar to the assignment cards, although they're a little bit harder. This one says most chaotic composition. And with a balanced composition, it says you'll count the number of quadrants in each color of your scoring zone. You'll total them and subtract the lowest of the numbers from the highest. And that's how you're going to be able to determine who ends up having the most chaotic for this. Here's one that says most color areas with 4 or more quadrants. So you've got these different formulas that you're going to be trying to win points with the professor cards. So with the second round, you're going to be laying out 2 professor cards. In the third round, you're going to lay out 2 assignments of any color and then 1 professor card. And at the start of each round, you're going to be drawing one of these. And this is yet another way you can score. And this says 2x2 square of the same color. Let's just say somewhere along the line I happen to lay out something like this. This would end up meeting the requirements of this card, which is cubism, and then I would go ahead and score 2 points for that. So now each player is going to be drawing one of these each round. So this is going to be their own private card that they're going to try to get. So the way it works is you're going to go ahead and deal out 3 of the canvas cards to each player, and whoever has the teacher's pet card is going to go first. So for the first round, let's just say we go ahead and draw this. I'll put this out there, most red areas of 1 quadrant. I'll do the yellow areas here, and then we'll do the fewest blue areas. So these are what we're going to be trying to score with. So the way it works is you're going to go ahead and start building the canvas over here. And eventually what's going to happen is there's going to end up being 4 rows. So the way it works is the row that is closest to you is going to be your own personal scoring space. Your opponent's not going to be able to play a card there unless he absolutely has to. 2 middle rows are going to be scoring zones. Now, each player is only going to be able to score in their own second row. However, they can play cards in either the second or the third row. So here's a perfect example. So now you can either lay the card out horizontally or vertically, and once you do that, that's going to determine the orientation. So, for example, I'll go ahead and draw this card, and this says 2x2 of the same color. So let's just say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and place this card here somewhere. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw another canvas card. Other player is going to look. Let's say he draws an inspiration card, and he has this, 3 times 2 T-shape of the same color. So he'll put that aside, and let's just say he decides he's going to go ahead and play this card right over here. Let's say he decides he's going to go ahead and play that. So now we've got 2 rows going. So let's just say I decide I'm going to go ahead and play this card over here. And I'll go ahead and draw again. So let's say my opponent decides he's going to go ahead and play this card. So now he's gone ahead and met this qualification. He's got 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then 1 here. So he's already scored this. So he'll go ahead and draw another card. And this is kind of the way it's going to go. Okay, guys, so here's an example of what a completed canvas would look like for the round. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and score the points. So I'm player 1. This is going to be my area over here. And I have met this requirement over here with this. So this is going to score me 2 points. My opponent will go ahead and look. He did make a T-bar over here, so that's going to score him 2 points. So then we're going to go over here to these cards. Most red areas with only 1 quadrant. This is going to go to the second player. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 of those cards. Player 2 is going to get that. We'll go over here to the yellow. This says most yellow areas. You'll just simply count up your yellow areas. So for yellow, player 1 has 5 areas, and player 2 has 7 areas. So this is going to go to player 2. And so now we go over here to the fewest blue areas. So player 1 has got 6 areas, and player 2 has also got 6 areas. So there happens to be a tie. So since there was a tie, the first player has a teacher's pet card. What he's going to do is he's going to go ahead and give the teacher's pet card to player 2. So player 1 is going to go ahead and win this card. And then we're going to go on to round 2, and this is where we're going to go ahead and lay out 2 of the professor cards for the next round. You go ahead and clear out the canvases, and then the teacher's pet card is going to go ahead and pass over to the next player. So anyway, you'll go ahead and do 3 rounds of this, and you'll total up all of your points, and whoever has the most amount of points at the end of the game is going to win. And that, folks, is Abstract Academy. So my final thoughts on Abstract Academy. Man, cool game. Really good strategy game, I believe. Really kind of makes you think, and you're just trying to meet requirements of different cards that are on there. I like the fact that it has 3 different rounds, and each round you have different cards that you can take. Very cool. Now, I'm a big fan of Bob Ross, and I'm sure many of you have heard of Bob Ross. I love watching him paint. This game, for some reason, kind of reminds me of that, even though it looks nothing like Bob Ross paintings. But it's a very cool idea. You know, with the theme being you're in a class, you're trying to like share a canvas and trying to score points, and then you've got assignment cards and inspiration cards and things like that. So a very cool little theme. I definitely would give this game a recommendation for anybody who likes strategy games, for sure. It's not a difficult game to learn. Some of the cards are tricky, but you know, it kind of adds to the strategy. You have to play the cards in a way to where you can get your own scoring zone, because that's not going to be formed until the rows have been completed. If you like strategy games, give this one a try. It's a cool game. All right, guys, my review of Abstract Academy is now done. We will see you later. Keep on gaming.